my brother in Christ, you have returned.
Allow me to reintroduce myself. My name is...
Cool guys zone.
Please clap.
Wow.
There you go, Terry. What in reverse, Terry?
Man, I'm finna whip this hoe.
Welcome back, everybody. You might recognize this as a familiar face. This is a car that I rescued a couple years ago. Found it on Facebook Marketplace, and it was pretty ragged out. Mismatched paint, bumper was all cut up, and I went through the process of restoring it, I guess you could say, to an extent where it was more presentable and drivable. And here recently, we developed a new problem. And I don't know how else to say it except the motor killed itself. Let me show you what I'm talking about. So a few months ago, I had hit an armadillo and wrecked the front bumper on this thing. I'll go ahead and plug some pictures here so you can see. Anyways, I didn't really feel like driving the car very much with the bumper off, and it was destroyed to the point where it would have been hanging down some. So what I did was let it sit for a while. Eventually took the bumper off, found a guy to paint it for me, and got it painted, and it looks pretty good, I think. But at some point when the car was sitting, I guess a tensioner failed or something in the timing system. This is my guess. I'm just doing diagnosis from what I can see on the outside. But it appears that maybe the car jumped timing somehow because the back driver cylinder has destroyed itself. I don't know how, but as I was pulling out spark plugs, one by one they all look fine until I got to this cylinder back here, and the spark plug looked like this. So let me go ahead and pop my camera in here and show you just what I discovered in here. Okay, so I got my little Bosch borescope here. I don't know how well this is gonna show it, but let me go ahead and run this down into the cylinder and I can show you just what I found. I'm not sure how well this is showing up on camera, but that cylinder is absolutely destroyed. So I'm thinking that somewhere, somehow, the tensioner must have failed, and we lost compression on pretty much every cylinder now that the valves are hanging up in the wrong time. So we've got a new engine on the way. It should be here in a couple days, but for now, we're gonna get this thing prepped to pull this thing out, replace it with a new engine, and hopefully get this thing on the road and moving before I have to get out of here. All right, we are ready to get started on this thing. I got my coffee, I got my appropriate workshop attire here, and we're gonna go ahead and get the front end off of this thing before David gets here. I've already started moving a couple things like the headlights. So let's go ahead and do that. We'll get the core support off, get this thing into service mode, and then once he gets here, we'll tackle the hard stuff.
Nice.
All right, so we've got the front end off the car, got it up in the air. Now what we're gonna do is remove this engine harness and get this thing prepared to pull out. It shouldn't be too much from here. Once the harness comes off, we can disconnect the fuel lines, downpipes, as well as the transmission bell housing bolts and the engine mounts. After that, it should lift right out, and then we'll be on our way to put the new motor in.
Hey viewers, future me here. It should be noted that my process for doing this definitely isn't by the book, but it was done quickly in an effort to prepare this car for not only a wedding photo shoot, but also a move across the country. Normally, I would be taking my time to inspect and replace parts, gaskets, and anything else of merit. Anyway, I'll let you get back to watching the amateur at work. Enjoy.
Looks like we got a stinky boy who showed up. As far as the car, we got a few more things to do. We got to undo the downpipes. We got to move the AC compressor out of the way. Unbolt the bell housing bolts, and
goes the LS.
Yep, undo the engine mounts, and it should lift out.
Hello, ladies and germs. Welcome to the latest episode of I'm Underneath the Car. Do you know which one this is? Well, I would think so because you're watching this episode, so hope you're not an idiot. I'm going to go ahead and work on getting the downpipes unbolted, as well as the transmission here. I don't have much experience working on an Audi, so hopefully Taylor trusts me enough down here. It's no V-Quid, it's no Nissan, but I'm willing to get under here and learn, so let's figure it out.
You won't see everything involved here, but here's a quick rundown on my process. It should be noted that there are many ways to skin a cat, but this is what worked for me in this situation. Put the front end in service mode, including unbolting the AC compressor. Remove the intake system and wiring harness. Unbolt the downpipes. Remove the bell housing bolts. Unbolt trans and engine mounts. Remove everything else you forgot on the first go around. Lift and pull. Don't go so far. Just enough, and then start pulling it forward.
Okay. Are you able to tell me when it's enough down there?
Yeah, it should be enough now.
Okay.
And I'm gonna pry down here while you're doing it. Well, after pulling off the timing covers, we can see that my suspicions were correct, that this thing did in fact jump timing. Normally, these would be lined up in such that you could put in the cam lock bar at top dead center, but we see that that's not possible. So I'm not quite sure how that happened, but maybe the tensioner failed. Something caused it to jump time, so that is what was the death of this engine. All right, well, the engine is officially out of this thing, so we gotta do a little bit of deep cleaning before the new motor arrives. What we're gonna do is take some of this purple power and just give this thing a good dousing and scrub it down and then hit it with the power washer, and hopefully it'll give us a nicer place to work the next time we have to do this. Well, it's not perfect, but damn if this thing doesn't look much better. I might give it a couple more passes with some of that purple power and scrub it down a little bit more, like here on the subframe where I didn't get all of it, but hey, not bad at all. This thing is looking pretty good, way more tidy than it was. All right, so we got our replacement engine. Big thanks to AutoScouts out in Arizona. They hooked me up with this thing and got out of here in pretty quick order. So let's go ahead and unwrap this thing, see exactly what we got, get everything transferred over, and hopefully get this thing to fire back up. Well, boys, I'd say she's in time. Looks pretty good. Just got all the accessories swapped over to this nasty bitch. Got manifold on, spider hose. Just gotta wait for a rear main seal to come in. I'm gonna do it while it's out. And then got a new flywheel, clutch, and pressure plate to throw on here. All right, boys, a little update on the shit box. Just got the AFR setup installed. Pretty clean install if I do say so myself. Got it all nicely tucked away. Ran through to the firewall. And then we got the cable coming down underneath the heat shields. Additionally today, we got the entire wiring harness put on with all of the OEM stuff. Gotta love it. OEM is the best. It always fits better than anything else. And talk about a long fucking night. But that bitch is in there. Just need to get some ICMs and coil packs and she should start up. But yeah,